depending on the item build, of course, and skill build that you go for the hero. If you go max level flame guard, it definitely can go a lot faster. But I don't think that you're going to have much use of flame guard in that lane, so it's probably going to be more of a max level sleight of fist, so that you can at least get some creep kills from range before the lone druid bear gets too strong and hammers you down.
You also kind of do get hurt a lot by this lone druid in the laning stage, because Ember, again, is like a hero that's very reliant on early experience. You scale very well with your ability damage more than your itemization early on. So the items will help you kind of prolong the damage output, the sustained damage you deal on your opponents, the vision that you give, the nimbleness of dodging abilities. It's a nice, fun escape hero player. Like every spirit basically is in the game. You have one escape mechanism on all of them. But the damage is, he isn't really the source of damage, and he's also limited to some crowd control with that searing chains. So I feel like it's like Muzi needs to have a good laning stage, and they're playing with somewhat the similar types of supports as in game number 1, where they're more defensive than offensive with Clockwork and Pugna until you get levels.
The plus side is because Pugna is decent at playing defensive and is a super strong laner. Hopefully this time, last game it didn't go as well as planned, but this time he might be able to keep Ezekiel alive a little bit better and zone out the lone druid, because he definitely can zone him out, and with the Crapify to be used possibly in the lane against lone druid and Abaddon, there's a good save to keep him going. There's definitely not going to be any kills there shouldn't be any kills coming out for no bounty hunter in that lane though.
I'm kind of worried, are they going to kill anybody until they get their levels? Maybe with the Terrorblade they can. Like, you got this good old classic combination of Metamorph plus Cogs. Get somebody stuck in there or pushed around. TB hits very hard with his right clicks. You've got some semi-low armor heroes against you. Probably not Mobai with his Viper in the mid lane, who only has 2 base armor. But heroes like the Sand King can take an easy beating. The Vengeful Spirit also, if they make rotations around the map. How much do you want to move around on the map with Khan on this TB? You don't really want to make portal plays if absolutely necessary, unless the opponent's diving under like a tier 1. It's like, hey, there's a kill for you here. All right, can you just TP? Which he might have to do with that Metamorph, because they need all the damage they can get.
Nice little fun stat is the fact that Bammysoy are playing with 4 universal heroes, and Viper can turn universal with his level 25 talent. So they're technically sort of playing with 4.5 universal heroes on this Bammysoy lineup.
Yeah, that's a pretty ridiculous level 25, right? You just completely change your stat to another and get a lot of right-click damage from that. It's pretty sick. Like, when you're playing it as a 2 or even a 1 Viper, you got, like, very high magical damage output. You feel a bit squishy if the opponent runs at you. The moment you're chasing, you're doing a lot of damage, but you just get this extra right-click buff at 25, which is actually pretty massive for Viper. It's such a silly one as well, because it's like, you get damage, you get more slow, you get more stun duration. Nope, becomes universal. Like, how wild is that?
Fully, the entire aspect of the hero just changes with that one move. And yeah, the top lane, the bottom lane is kind of as to be expected. Lone Druid Bear just goes brrr, and they're being bullied back.
Some pretty, like, if I want to look at super late game, there's some fantastic 25 talents. You've got Sand King with the blind against the TB. Oh boy, no, that didn't take too long.
Without the metamorphosis as well. That's Michael just blasting away at his opponents. It is a solid hero for that. Mobai has 10 denies in the mid lane. What? Foker has 1 last hit. That's a last big
And this lane was supposed to go good, right? I mean, at least better for Muzi. It's totally not. Like, Mobai, what is this guy on? I want some of that.
His hero pool is so unconventional. Well, the Viper's not the most unconventional, but He plays it when no one else does, and it's surprising, but he is so good on everything that he touches.
Yeah, it's weird if you get like 2 games in a row where the same player gets away in both games and just dominates. So already having like this big of an advantage in terms of experience with all these denies going his way, he's half a level ahead of the Invoker. And Invoker was the big playmaker to open up the map and get a couple kills going for your team. It's not really what they were looking for.
I've never seen this many denies at the 3-minute mark.
He might die here even. Okay, he's actually under the safety of the tower. A couple misses there from Mobai, but you're absolutely right. Like he's got quadruple the denies than the amount of last hits on Muzi.
That's not good. Top side, Khan already used his Metamorphosis, so he doesn't have as much ways to help Michael stay alive. Luckily enough, Michael is a Pugna, very fast hero, and a lot of nice damage output coming through.
They're really greeting this one. Do they have Burrow Strike? Yes, they do.
Oh, but Khan
it's
staying
not enough.
alive. Moo dropping low. He would have wanted to get that kill, because if he did, it would have been beautiful, because Khan would have splashed all over them and they would all be dead. Speaking of dead, Muzi does die to Mobai in mid, and we do have Moo. I guess he walked underneath the tower to die.
Yeah, it did look like it. He knew he was already dead. BNC was basically, our Blink was just TPing in. Might as well just give away the kill. Oh, bottom, Ezekiel.
Yep.
Just dove under the tower.
I mean, it's a lone druid. The bear doesn't really care. If it almost dies, you just resummon it. It's...
And this is a bit of an issue for No Bounty Hunter. Even if the draft feels very different to last game, they really just they've got control, right? But do they have damage? Because they're basically losing every single lane right now. Maybe the top lane is still 50-50 with Khan keeping up in CS. But this magical burst versus such a low max HP hero like TB, it's gonna get worse. He's gonna have to leave this lane pretty soon if they don't score a kill.
Bottom lane, they're trying to kill off the bear. But again, he can just resummon it and deny you the 300 gold. Or he just roots you and puts the clockwork in. A lot of misery. Another kill gets secured. While mid lane, Muzi found out by Mobai. Right click
this
away.
Guy. Oh, he seems like he can do whatever he wants right now.
He can't have another 25-0 game, right? I just can't.
He still has double the denies compared to the 9 last hits.
TB dropping
and
low.
And Khan dying.
Yep, there's that magic damage you were talking about. It is plentiful coming out from Bammysoy.
And these are level 4. Like, you get to level 5, it's even more damage. So even the bigger reason for him to just leave this lane. Because top is lost. Bottom, you don't really do anything here. Ezekiel's getting zoned out. He's got 13 last hits. Your mid is being absolutely crushed. This is not a fun game for No Bounty Hunter. Again, like, second time in a row, this is a pretty miserable series for them.
It's a level 4 Invoker rotating top against a less that like Sand King has more experience than the Invoker mid. That just shows you the difference right now.
Looks like my pub games, you know. It's like I'm the only one having a good time in my lane, and then I've got like everybody else showing up there. Like, guys, what are you doing here? It's like 5 minutes into the game.
Go away. Go farm jungle or something. I want creeps. I mean, this is also a very unfortunate timed pause because Muzi was about to just throw out some spells while the TP was going, so that's a little bit more on the unfortunate side. Well, bottom lane, I see a lone druid a bit close to Ezekiel.
They've got Metamorph, but this TP's got a 3-second teleport channel, so unless this Tornado Cold Snap does enough, Blink could maybe survive with 400 HP. Let's see.
I see some spousal rivalry was going on there in the House of Husky. It's always fun.
Yeah, classic NA.
Let's see. Mobai, he's got the haste runes, level 7.
I love these things.
Does anything go? Okay. The bright side is Khan's got good farm. He's a Terrorblade. He can always head in towards the jungle very easily, no problem. In case
that's the only thing going their way.
Yes. Gotta look at the bright side. Muzi.
Yeah. Light at the end of the tunnel, right? Ezekiel's getting ganked in bottom.
Yeah, but you know the Ember Spirit. That was the throwaway lane. We expected that one to happen. Towards mid, Muzi dropping low, still dies to the dot. The haste rune gets used by Mobai, and he is just going to drink some bottle charges and slowly kill off the Clockwork, who is now forced to TP back to base. In comes Michael, and Mobai spots him out, and then is like, "Oh, that could be another kill.
Target
Let's go
acquired.
for more. Blood is fun." Murder right here. No, Michael is not gonna bait him into the tower for that long, and Husky even throws out the tip, seeing that his mid laner is going on a complete bananas rampage.
Yeah, and a 4K lead at 7 minutes as well. This is looking like the Aster game we were casting earlier on this morning in the China qualifiers. It's like Aster should be a team that is gonna beat or sweep at least some of the lower tier Chinese teams, and they were losing 6K in 8 or 9 minutes. This is kind of like Bammysoy repeating that kind of dominance.
Yeah, Bammysoy looking pretty good. Khan still got decent farm, just like last game. He still manages to find farm, even on the Ursa, where his lane was a little bit troubling. He did manage to stay up in net worth. He's going for the Hanamitis build, so this game is definitely going to just be extend, yeah, and hopefully be able to turn it around into the late game, because that's also the plus. If
there's no real way to recover, right? Because this Invoker, if he falls behind in levels early on, this is what his game is going to be looking like. He just tornado people, but he's still going to end up getting killed. Like, maybe he can dodge this one. He's still level 5. He's going to have to regenerate up again. Blink's just bullying him. He's level 6 before the mid-Invoker.
Yeah. There's not really much more to say about that. The lanes are just a very big problem for them at this stage.
Like I'm not sure what the thought process was with the draft. Like, did they really want to play this Ember into mid? But the way the draft was evolving was like, do we actually have to change this away? And this was your second pick into an opponent's double pick without their mid even yet being revealed. This is kind of like a drafting trap you dug yourself in.
They want to go for a kill here, and they're running through. There is no Metamorphosis, unfortunately, but Samson doesn't actually have his ulti. He actually didn't level his ulti, so Blink needs to save him. Samson get all the shields, all the defensives he could possibly get. Khan's gonna focus down the bear instead. But there's a resummon at the ready if need be. They will actually get the kill onto the bear. Michael is doing work here. Double kill for the Pugna. And
we talked about the TB having a good game, but I feel like Michael's actually having a pretty good game on this Pugna.
I think the supports, I mean, last game as well, the supports were the deadliest part of No Bounty Hunter. It was Michael together with, last game it was Thena on the Grimstroke. This time he initiates that engagement where they get a couple of kills.
Yeah, he gets a tip for it. Like, Michael's really trying his absolute best. Only Mobai had protection to catch this Invoker. Just drops his ulti, quick ghost walk away. I'm like DK. I'm trying to find positives on the side of No Bounty Hunter.
Ezekiel hasn't died for a while. That's a positive right there.
Yeah, we're really digging for these.
If they can extend, the problem is you're playing against Lone Druid, so extending the game a lot is kind of problematic. Even against the Abaddon and the Viper, once the Viper gets shard, the pushing power is quite insane. But if you extend the game long enough, Terrorblade is a nasty hero to deal with in this game. You throw out a couple of Invoker spells, Ember might be able to cut creep waves a lot more around the map. The net worth advantage is only 5k. I think experience is like insanely much higher, but the net worth advantage is not that huge.
And they're gonna need to get that level 6 on the clockwork. Like this next 3-minute Wisdom Rune is, I almost feel like saying a win condition for No Bounty Hunter. They need to secure maybe 1, maybe 2, at least one of those Wisdom Runes, because they gotta get that hook shot online for the clockwork. Because that's again another tool that helps Muzi play or maneuver around the fights a little bit easier, and that also means that when the clockwork goes in, TB can dish out damage.
Sammy has the Diffusal Blade and the Dust and hits it onto Muzi. Poker Tornado coming out. There's a rotation in from Husky. He's going to try and help out. I mean, there's nothing that Muzi can do. This is sadness. Diffusal's almost back up. Ezekiel, can he help out his Poker in any way? Nope. It's a very slow and saddening death.
Yeah, and Ezekiel, he prioritized the, I finally get CS in the lane. So he's just watching what's going on, but top lane, yeah.
Michael keeps Thana alive, and with Khan's Metamorphosis pop, they actually get spooked all the way back.
They're going back in.
Yeah, Boo's got the Epicenter as well. Burrow, Epicenter, not even needed right there. Michael is draining away. Sunder comes through. Khan is trying to stay alive, but the Epicenter does eventually finish him off. A 1-for-1 trade so far, but the two supports are trying to run away. There's the Ember Spirit getting the catch onto move. In comes Husky though. Aphotic Shield isn't going to be enough to keep the Sand King alive. He's dodging and weaving all the way through. Husky is still just keeping them at bay, but Mood does drop dead. And now they have
back
to be
into
careful.
the range of the sentry. Like he could have actually survived if he was on the edge of the sandstorm. He was missing a couple of hits, but he walked right back into vision. Muzi was able to right-click him away and trade off with that Sand King. It was a much better fight already for No Bounty Hunter, but it was also Bammysoy just kind of underestimating a bit there. They didn't instantly use the Epicenter with the Burrow Strike, meaning that he got like this 30 HP Sunder off, and they had to actually pop the ulti right after, secure that kill onto the TB, and by then No Bounty Hunter was able to rotate to the help and kind of played into their playbook, just because they got a Sunder off, and they were able to stretch that fight a bit longer. If TB just died right away, Sand King wouldn't have died, and it would have been a much cleaner fight.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
God, it's so sad to see someone die to Lone Druid. It's just you're stuck. You get slowed, you get rooted, and it's a slow death. But yeah, indeed, that Sunder was a pretty big play. Could have gotten a lot worse. There's the steal of those experience runes that you were talking about that they really need, because that clockwork is still not level 6. No hook shot available.
Getting a single one.
He's actually not moving currently.
The big importance basically of that previous fight was if you could rotate to push the tier 1 tower, take over the Radiant side Wisdom Rune, or just rotate back to defend your right side of the map, because I felt like that Wisdom Rune was such a crucial thing to get, and now Thana's gonna take a bit longer to get his level 6. Probably gonna have to soak away some from Ezekiel, who's farming in the lane right now, pretty happy. He's getting some CS, but it's like these small things, like they all click together.
The net worth advantage is the same as 5 minutes ago, even though of course Terrorblade, you know, 2k of that's the Hand of Midas, but they're keeping up with it. And Viper is one of those heroes that scales really poorly in the later parts of the game.
Yeah, until Universal, yeah. There's a phase where the Viper just feels it's in a weird place.
Yeah, it tends to be in about 10 minutes-ish. Muzi, Crepify is going for the TP out, but of course they can just fear it. Ezekiel joins the fun. There's the heal attempt, but there's 5 heroes bashing away at your Voker. Don't think you're going to have enough heals to keep him alive.
If only they had hookshot. Like he just got his level 6, farming some creeps in the mid lane while his Invoker's being chased at the same time. If they had a Wisdom Rune, and he could have interrupted that, that would have been Clockwork dying instead of the Invoker. Maybe even some damage. Maybe even a kill. We were singing Blink 182, All the Small Things with Lizard earlier on this morning. Just a deja vu.
Small thing.
That's the one. Having a bit of a deja vu here, like all the small things. If they got that Wisdom Rune, that could have been a fight. They could maybe even get something out of it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's a good song.
It's a good song.
Yeah. I mean,
Dire's top tower is
I
under
would have loved to see them at BlizzCon. I know they performed there once, and I saw it on like the live feeds, and it was amazing. But yeah, currently
Radiant
net worth-wise,
structures
Khan's
are
still getting good farm. He's actually
Radiant's bottom
closing
tower is under
in
attack.
slowly but surely on his
Dire's
Manta
top tower is
style.
under attack.
Oh, he dies in Fountain because Mobai hits him with a bunch of spells. Ezekiel's got the Mage Slayer done. That's actually a denial of a lot of damage that they could throw out.
Dire's top tower
Got a
has
3-man
fallen.
rotation to bottom, trying to catch Viper while their tier 2 falls in the top lane. It's rough. This is like the move you make with 3 heroes towards the bottom lane 10 minutes ago. Now every move you make on the map to try and overpower your opponents is an objective
Dire's
falling at
middle
this
tower
pace. Because
is under
if
attack.
last game Bammysoy didn't have pushing power, they've got plenty of it this game. Talked about the Viper Shard, already got the Sloan Druid with his Demolish.
Dire's middle tower has
Venge
fallen.
is buffing everybody up with extra right-click damage. Sand King keeps these waves pushed in the whole time with the Sandstorm, with his Caustic Finale. It's so much easier to play as
Radiant's
Radiant in
bottom
this game.
tower has fallen.
Yeah, the Fokker is also currently limited. He doesn't have a point in Exort yet, so he doesn't have his full range of spells that he can use. So it pretty much comes down to Cold Snap, Tornado, EMP. That's about it.
Yeah, cross your fingers and hope for the best.
We drain their mana, it's pretty nice, but I don't think Viper or Lone Druid really care if you
Dire's
drain their
bottom
mana
tower
in the
is under
slightest.
attack.
Khan top side. Slowly but surely dropping low. Does have a Sunder
Good shot.
possibility. While in the meantime, Blink dies somewhere else. Nope, he just straight up dies. Khan gets murdered in his base, but they will find the kill onto Moo and Blink somewhere else.
Oh, they got a 2-for-1. They're pretty low here. Sammy boy. Alright, he's not interested in fighting anymore. Kind of used everything, but losing the
Dire's
TV,
top
yeah,
tower
that
is
definitely
under
hurts,
attack.
but this was a win for the Ember and the Invoker. You got the fresh Mage Slayer up on the Ember Spirit. You've got this debuff applied. It hurts the Viper even more. You talked about his scaling. Mage Slayer makes his effectiveness even worse.
Sammy's bear is chasing after Michael, even though the bear can't hit him. But he does throw that diffusal. He has a TP. Smoke got used in the process, but the bear
Get
does.
juked.
I find the bear such a
Dire's
weird
courier
thing.
has been
Like
killed.
it's a hero unit, but it isn't. Like you can smoke next to it.
It's a Schrodinger's bear.
Yeah,
Or Schrodinger's hero, even.
it's
He isn't, and he is.
it's kind of BS. The fact that you can't sunder it is insane.
Dire's bottom tower
You should be able to sunder it. It pretty much just counts as an extra hero.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. Could be able to.
Dire's bottom tower has
But is
fallen.
that a big nerf for Lone Druid?
Well, it would have kept Khan alive in that situation. But in general, with other ability-based spells and such, everything works against Lone Druid, except for that, kind of.
Just love to see a Manta style on a Spirit Bear. Feels so weird, but it feels so good at the same time.
I guess against the Grubify and Root.
Bear army.
Bear army. If only he had the Radiance build of old school bears.
Manta
Radiance
Radiance carries.
scanning.
Manta Radiance Bear. That's something.
He's going Butterfly next. It's also an interesting choice. Michael gets very quickly jumped and taken down.
Found the enemy.
Instant buybacks. They're actually looking in from behind here. Metamorphosis
Metamorph pop.
is used by Khan. He's looking for a fight, but needs to be careful if the magic damage coming out. Good hook shot with the catch. They're all three stuck inside the cogs, and Khan has a chance to blast away, but they will lose the clockwork, and Khan actually needs to disengage for a little bit. Has a Sunder at the ready, but the problem is, do they have the vision? Do they have the control? He doesn't find the targets easy to connect to him. Sammy Boy sends out his bear to chase after Muzi. Khan is still on the side looking for anything, but they're just tickling him at the moment. Blink is not even going to drop dead just yet. Michael has to constantly keep healing up Khan. Being chased by the Lone Druid Bear. Khan's TV is no more. The tornado is going to be a bit of a nuisance, but that's all it does. All game long, that tornado has only been a nuisance.
Dire's courier has been
A
killed.
pretty smart play there. Like, on the side of no bounty hunter, first you lose the Pugna. They found the entire enemy team. They do get stuck in a choke point on the edge of the stairs, which allowed Thena to go for a really good 3-man hook shot. But this is the issue I talked about, like, at the start of the game. Like, where's the damage going to be coming through? Plus, high ground, TV was missing a couple times. And the damage output from Bammysoy is just so much greater. It's like 4 times the damage that no bounty hunter is dishing out. So no matter how good of a hook shot you land, Invoker doesn't have much of an impact. Ember's only hindering them with that Mage Slayer. And it's all down to just like, can TB kill anybody in this time span? Because he doesn't really have any damage items in his inventory. So what happens after? They just basically break loose. They chase Muzi out of the fight. They don't even touch the TB. And by the time Muzi has been forced to high ground, they turn their attention to the TB because he's all by himself.
Yeah.
They just sustain better.
They've got quite a decent amount of sustain and defensives. Abaddon obviously is like one ball of sustain. So that's pretty nice. The Spirit Bear and the Lone Druid heal each other the entire time. And then you've got Sand King's got Eternal Shroud. He's almost done with the Shiva. They've got so many defensive tools, and as you mentioned, Terrorblade's all the damage they've got.
Michael found him again.
He's got to run. He doesn't actually have a buyback available, and the Pugna, can he at least get anything done? No, he's going to be taken down. The catch onto Ezekiel has a Fire Remnant placed somewhere back and will have to use it to disengage. Actually on the other side, waiting towards the Roche bit.
Still chasing TB. Bears are on top of him.
He got body blocked by the Lone Druid illusions. But he gets back into his base. Diffusal Blade slow.
They might dive him here.
Walking in. Again, he's playing Sand King. No Blink Dagger needed. No Blink Dagger required. Khan blown up. Hook shot in towards Moo. Dana, with that Glimmer, will be able to barely scrape by.
It's like, you got this Defender's Gate, you can't go through, but you also got heroes that can just go through it. Like Sand King just goes straight up in. You can Burrow Strike through it. You've got long range abilities. Okay, Ezekiel actually gets out. But yeah, it's like, they were waiting for Thena to get a hook shot out, but they're too spread in front of that Roche pit. That how can he ever go in?
And Woozy in a bit of trouble, surrounded by an entire army. This time, at the very least, it wasn't Mobai, who, by the way, still is playing a perfect game, 10-0-4 on that Viper, and is building into his, seems to be Scythe of Ice, closing in pretty quickly. And with Thena being spotted, has a hook shot in 1 second, will not be tickling down.
Yep, these 2 games accumulated together, Mobe is currently on a 48 KDA with 0 deaths.
I mean, technically, that would be, you know, 0 deaths. There's no D.
There's no D, yeah, it's just a KA. Yeah, 48. It's a pretty sweet number. Yeah, no bounty hunter that can say goodbye to those 9-minute GGs they got from the Open qualifier, because competition is rough here.
Yeah, this is the big boys. This is a team that is competitive against any other team in NA. Bammysoy, I mean, obviously you've got the core from the old Nouns lineup as well, but they're just really solid. Add in a little bit of that EU flare and it becomes scary. Metamorphosis is used by Khan. Do they have the damage? It is already Husky's first life used. Muzi throws out the meatball in the middle of that. They actually get the kill onto Husky, looking to kill more Khan. Can he get a Sunder off? He's dropping low. He does get the Sunder off onto Mu, but Mobai just bashing away from the side, not being targeted whatsoever. This Viper is AFK right-clicking. He just hit the ground and looked away.
Such a clutch swap coming out from Blink as well.
Yeah, there's the GG call.
Man, like, it's so frustrating when you have this 200 HP Sand King right next to you when TB with Metamorph is punching you. TB gets blown up by the Epicenter after the Sunder's been used. He's about to die to the dot damage, gets swapped for the shield barrier, and Moo, after the swap, just